And welcome back to Let's Play Mass Effect, Episode 4. So, it is finally time to read everything. The most politically important species in the galaxy. Oh, you're gonna speak to me.
Roughly 1,200 years ago, the Turians were invited to join the Citadel Council to fulfill the role of galactic peacekeepers. The Turians have the largest fleet in Citadel space, and they make up the single largest portion of the Council's military forces. As their territory and influence has spread, the Turians have come to rely on the Solarians for military intelligence and the Asari for diplomacy. Despite the rest of the galaxy, the ruling hierarchy understands they would lose more than they would gain if the other two races were ever removed. Turians come from an autocratic society that values discipline and possesses a strong sense of personal and collective honor. There is lingering animosity between Turians and humans over the First Contact War of 2157, which is known as the Relay 314 incident to the Turians. Cool. Officially, however, the two species are allies. I imagine we're going to find more as we meet more and more races. Cool diplomatic relations. Not races. Spacefaring species without the political power to set galactic policy. Lovely. The Geth are a humanoid race of networked AIs. They were created by the Quarians 300 years ago as tools of labor and war. When the Geth showed signs of self-evolution, the Quarians attempted to exterminate them. The Geth won the resulting war. This example has led to legal, systematic repression of artificial intelligences in galactic society. The Geth possess a unique distributed intelligence. An individual has rudimentary animal instincts, but as their numbers and proximity increase, the apparent intelligence of each individual improves. In groups, they can reason, analyze situations, and use tactics, as well as any organic race. Geth space is located at the trailing end of the Perseus Arm, beyond the lawless Terminus systems. The Perseus Veil, an obscuring dark nebula of opaque gas and dust, invading. Lies aliens, between their space creatures. And the Terminus systems. After the Geth secure a location, they round up and impale dead and living bodies on mechanical spikes. The spikes rapidly transform these victims into withered husks, extracting water and trace minerals, and replacing them with cybernetics. The cybernetics reanimate the lifeless flesh and tissue, transforming the bodies into mindless killing machines. Some Alliance soldiers refer to the husk-generating spikes as dragon's teeth, a reference to the mythological berserkers who sprang up from the earth wherever the teeth of the dragon Eris were planted. Dragon's teeth and husks bear little resemblance to other pieces of Geth technology. No one is sure why a synthetic race would bother to drain the minuscule amount of recoverable resources from organic corpses.
Massive space station that serves as the political and economic capital of galactic culture.
The Citadel is an ancient deep space station, presumably constructed by the Protheans. Numerous species have come to call the Citadel home. It serves as the political, cultural, and financial capital of the galactic community. To represent their interests, most species maintain embassies on the Presidium, the Citadel's inner ring. The Citadel Tower in the center of the Presidium holds the Citadel Council chambers. Council affairs often have far-reaching effects on the rest of the galactic community. 5 arms, known as the wards, extend from the Presidium. Their inner surfaces have been built into cities, populated by millions of inhabitants from across the galaxy. The Citadel is virtually indestructible. If attacked, the station can close its arms to form a solid, impregnable shell. For as long as the station has existed, an enigmatic race called the Keepers has maintained it. The Citadel. The Council is an executive committee composed of representatives from the Asari Republics, the Turian hierarchy, and the Solarian Union. Though they have no official power over the independent governments of other species, the Council's decisions carry great weight throughout the galaxy. No single Council race is strong enough to defy the other two, and all have a vested interest in compromise and cooperation. Each of the Council species has general characteristics associated with the various aspects of governing the galaxy. The Asari are typically seen as diplomats and mediators. The Solarians gather intelligence and information. The Turians provide the bulk of the military and peacekeeping forces. Any species granted an embassy on the Citadel is considered an associate member, bound by the accords of the Citadel Conventions. Associate members may bring issues to the attention of the Council, though they have no input on the decision. The Human Systems Alliance became an associate member of the Citadel in 2165.
And he's dead.
The Citadel. Spectres are agents from the Office of Special Tactics and Reconnaissance, and answer only to the Citadel Council. They are elite military operatives, granted the authority to deal with threats to peace and stability in whatever way they deem necessary. They operate independently or in groups of 2 or 3. Some are empathetic peacekeepers, resolving disputes through diplomacy. Others are cold-blooded assassins, ruthlessly dispatching problem individuals. All get the job done one way or another, often operating outside the bounds of galactic law. The Spectres were founded after the Solarians joined the Council. For many years they operated in secrecy as backroom problem solvers. Only after the Krogan rebellions did their activities become publicized. Assignment of a military deployment, but makes it clear that the Council is concerned about a situation.
Since the Alliance is a government and military of humanity beyond Sol.
The Systems Alliance is an independent supranational government representing the interests of humanity as a whole. The Alliance is responsible for the governance and defense of all extrasolar colonies and stations. The Alliance grew out of the various national space programs as a matter of practicality. Sol's planets had been explored and exploited through piecemeal national efforts. The expense of colonizing entire new solar systems could not be met by any one country. With humans knowing that alien contact was inevitable, there was enough political will to jointly fund an international effort. Still, the Alliance was often disregarded by those on Earth until the First Contact War. While the national governments dithered and bickered over who should lead the effort to liberate Shanxi, the Alliance fleet struck decisively. Post-war public approval gave the Alliance the credibility to establish its own parliament and become the galactic face of humanity.
Weapons, armor, and equipment. Advances in technology have made individual soldiers more dangerous and survivable than ever before.
Combat hard suits use a dual-layer system to protect the wearer. The inner layer consists of fabric armor with kinetic padding. Areas that don't need to be flexible, such as the chest or shins, are reinforced with sheets of lightweight, ablative ceramic. The outer layer consists of automatically generated kinetic barriers. Objects traveling above a certain speed will trigger the barrier's reflex system and be deflected, provided there is enough energy left in the shield's power cell. Armored hard suits are sealable to protect the wearer from extremes of temperature and atmosphere. Standard equipment includes an onboard mini-frame and a communications, navigation, and sensing suite. The mini-frame is designed to accept and display data from a weapon's smart targeting system to make it easier to locate and eliminate enemies. Combat kinetic barriers, more commonly called shields, provide protection against most mass accelerator weapons. Whether on a starship or a soldier's suit of armor, the basic principle remains the same. Kinetic barriers are repulsive mass effect fields, projected from tiny emitters. These shields safely deflect small objects traveling at rapid velocities. This affords protection from bullets and other dangerous projectiles, but still allows the user to sit down without knocking away their chair. The shielding afforded by kinetic barriers does not protect against extremes of temperature, toxins, or radiation. Medigel is a common medicinal EMTs and military personnel. It combines several useful applications. a local anesthetic, disinfectant, and clotting agent all in one. Once applied, the gel is designed to grip tight to flesh until subjected to a frequency of ultrasound. It is sealable against liquids, most notably blood, as well as contaminants and gases. The gel is a genetically engineered bioplasm created by the CERTA Foundation, a medical technology megacorp based on Earth. Technically, Medigel violates Council laws against genetic engineering, but to date, it has proved far too useful to ban.
Okay, he's not gonna repeat. I never understood this. Why they'll, like, have this written out, but then they'll have the person say something totally different. Well, it's not... Here it is. And like, there's not that many. So these I have to read. You were born on Earth, but you never knew your parents. Child of the streets, you learn to live by your wits and guts, surviving in the hidden underbelly of the megatropolises, humanity's homeworld. Eager to find a better life, you joined the Alliance military when you came of age. Volunteered for an expedition to Akuze, a lush world on the outskirts of Alliance space that had suddenly dropped out of contact. Arriving on the surface, your patrol found the settlement intact but no survivors. Nightfall, the Thresher Maws struck, mindless abominations of teeth and tentacles that rose up from beneath the earth. Constant gunfire couldn't drown out the shrieks of your fellow soldiers as they were dragged down to their gruesome deaths. 50 Marines died on Akuze. You were the only one to make it back to the landing zone alive. A monument on the planet commemorates the massacre, a grim reminder of the price humanity must pay as they spread throughout the stars. You know, the problem with this being a morning recording is that I always get, like, super stuffed up in the mornings, and the fact it's winter doesn't help. As a space station that serves as the political and economic capital of galactic culture. Okay, Citadel Station statistics. Although the Citadel is equipped with Mass Effect generating element 0 cores, most of the gravity in the station is generated by the centrifugal force of rotation, which is how the wards would work. Rotation 3.5 minutes per revolution, so that thing's spinning really fast. Rotational gravity in wards 102 Earth. Rotational gravity in Presidium 0.3 Earth, which is why we need the 0 cores. Total length open 44.7 kilometers. Diameter open 12.8 kilometers. Yeah, does the Presidium compress? It might be, because it looks like it sort of could slot together. Because otherwise, sure, the wards can close and become like a bullet, but then the entire open is open. Presidium ring diameter 7.2 kilometers. Presidium ring width 553 meters. Exterior armor thickness 13 meters. Radiation 13.2 million, not including keepers. Gross weight 7.11 billion metric tons. Height of the Presidium tower 1,047 meters. This is my favorite part. I like reading. This is government and military of humanity beyond Sol. Systems Alliance military jargon. Ashore, when a ship's crew leaves a vessel, they are ashore. Though the normally used regarding planets, it can refer to boarding a space station. Away, when a ship releases the equipment tethering to a space station or a service dock, it is away. Aye, aye. Runway to acknowledge an order. If told to attack, the correct response is aye, aye, sir. Master, are you proud to be a Marine? The correct response is yes, sir. ASAP, pronounced ASAP. An acronym for as soon as possible. Belay, stop, cease. Bridge Navigation Center of Spacecraft, where the steering is done. Captain's Mast, non-judicial disciplinary proceedings by unit commanders. CIC, Combat Information Center. Combat Center of Spacecraft. The CIC is filled with sensors displays to make sense of the chaos of combat. DC, damage control, the containment and repair of damage to a spacecraft. ECM, electronic countermeasures used to avoid enemy sensors from passive emissions, masking to active jamming. Jamming. EVA, extravehicular activity. Time spent in a pressure suit outside of a vehicle, spacecraft, or station. Flank. Flank is the side of a military formation. Since the soldiers are facing elsewhere, enemy that can attack on the flank can often turn it or roll it up. FNG, freaking new guys. A derisive term for inexperienced personnel. Go inside the surface of a planet. Helmsman, the crew members who pilots a spacecraft. Lidar. Light and flight detection and ranging. An active sensor that bounces lasers off an object determines its bearing and distance. Lidar has sufficient resolution that the data can be reconstructed into an image. Shore party. Spacecraft crew sent ashore on official business. Silent running, an old submariner's term. Use aboard the Normandy to donate when stealth systems are active. SITREP, abbreviation of Situation Report and Evaluation of Current Military Situation. Spacer, someone who spent most of their life in space. XO, Executive Officer, the second in command of an Alliance warship. The XO is responsible for administrative and personal matters. Timeline. 2069, Armstrong output at Shackleton Crater becomes the first human sent on a lunar. It is formally founded on July 24th, the 100th anniversary of the first lunar landing. 2103, Lowell City in Eos Chasma becomes the first human settlement on Mars. 137, Eldfell Ashland Energy Corporation demonstrates helium-3 fuel extraction from the atmosphere of Saturn. 2142, construction of Gagarin Station Jump 0 begins beyond orbit of Pluto. 2148, prospectors discover the Prothean ruins at Promethe Planum on Mars. 2049, translation of Prothean data leads humans to the Charon mass relay. Systems Alliance founded to coordinate exploration and colonization of extrasolar worlds. 251, a shipping accident at Singapore International Spaceport exposes downwind communities to containers of dust form element 0. Alliance begins construction of Arcturus Station. 252, roughly 30% of the children born in Singapore after element 0 exposure suffers from cancerous growth. System Alliance begins settlement of Earth's first extrasolar colony world, the planet Demeter, because of course it's got to be Demeter. It's always Demeter. 2154, Commander Shepard is born. 2155, Systems Alliance occupies completed portions of Arcturus Station as a headquarters. 2156, some children in Singapore exhibit minor telekinetic abilities. 2157, Turians encounter human explorers. First contact, war, occupation, and liberation of the human colony of Shanxi. 2158, humans learn potential of biotics. International effort to track element 0 exposures begin. Roughly 10% of exposed children show some level of biotic ability. 2160, Systems Alliance Parliament formed. 2165, humans establish an embassy on Citadel. 2170, Batarian slavers attack the Alliance colony of Mindua. 2176, the Skylian Blitz. Pirates and slavers attack Elysium, the human capital in the Scylian Verge. Fisher Mars devour the Alliance colony of Akuze. So that's where we were. In 2178, in retaliation for the Scylian Blitz, the Alliance fleet wipes out an army of slavers on the moon of Torfin. 2183, current date. Weapons, armor, and equipment. This is, okay. Are we gonna... Nope. I would have thought we'd actually get, like, the weapon foundries, information about them, but I guess not. The development of practical manufacturing omni-tools allows modern militaries a great deal of flexibility in equipment loadouts, vast number of field modification kits or upgrades available for common equipment such as weapons, armor, omni-tools, can it turn into a sword, Murdoch amps, and even grenades. Upgrade typically consists of less than a dozen unique parts and an optical storage disk. When loaded to an Omni tool, the OSD has all technical specifications required to manufacture the tools and additional parts necessary to install the upgrade onto another piece of equipment. Some of these typically modular, and installation can be completed in less than a minute. Since Omni tools are designed to use common battlefield salvage materials such as plastics, ceramics, and light metals, running into semi-molten Omni gel for quick use, it's quite possible for a trained soldier to carry upgrade kits to customize gear on the battlefield to fit the current technical situation. Journal. Oh, okay. The beacon on Union Prime was destroyed before the self-destruction burned horrific images of death and galactic destruction into your mind. These are images of the past or warring future, you can't really say. You have to prove to... Oh. I see. Expose Saren, you have to prove to the Citadel Council that Saren, one of the Spectre agents, has gone rogue. We don't... Oh, that's a lot of stuff. Ooh, this is where we get our various stuff. This will increase accuracy and damage with pistols, grants the marksman ability. Description increases the amount of omni-jewel recovered. Lets you use the description skill to open secure objects. Grants a sabotage ability which shuts down enemy weapons with a certain radius. King, more basic armor, increases accuracy and damage, or grants marksman ability. Hacking, required description, 7 points. Hacking, recharges your tech proximity mines more quickly. Grants the AI hacking ability, which makes artificial enemies go berserk and attack each other. Electronics, increases the strength of your shields. Increases the amount of hull restored when you repair the vehicle. Lets you use electronic skills to repair or bypass objects. Grants overload ability, which shuts down an enemy's shields. Damping electronics 4 points. Damping increases explosion radius to tech proximity mines. Downs enemy tech and biotic abilities. First aid is squad healing. Medicine, first aid 5 points. Medicine increases the neutral recharge. Time on squad healing grants a neural shock ability. Engineer, tech specialist can use innovative tricks to get the most out of every resources. Reduces recharge times on tech abilities, increases tech resistance. Charm. Opens charm options and conversations, decreases the cost of item stars. Charm options and conversation will be grayed out if you do not have high enough skill rank. Skill ranks will unlock when you become a Spectre and as you... Wow, that's spoilery. As you earn Paragon points. Opens to many options and conversations, increases credits gained when selling the stores and too many options. Conversation will be grayed out. New skill... Okay. See... I go Paragon because I don't like being an asshole. All the way. You always want to do speech. So I'm just gonna do that. Why not? First aid, when there's so many of them. Deploys Medigel to allow wounded squad members restoring their health. Damping unlocked. Okay. Pistols, shotguns. And of course, I imagine Overkill allows long bursts of accurate assault rifle fire. Shield boost restores a portion of shields even when you're under fire. Adrenaline boost recharges all 10 so it can be used immediately. Oh, you're... Sentinel, obviously. So you're a mix. Target unlocks. Will damage enemy shields within a certain radius. Barrier adds a biotic barrier to your shields that absorbs damage but cannot block attacks that bypass shields. Oh, so, I'll be honest with you, I thought that, Yep, we're good. When it said that, like, what he is a sentinel, I thought that meant you couldn't even use... Oh. Okay, so I want to do that. Last patrol report. Captain Hendrickson reported some unusual energy readings during a patrol of the Argos Rogue cluster. Particularly concerned about the Hydra system, but was recalled before our team could investigate further. No patrols are scheduled for the sector. Do we want to send a recon team? But that's going to be it for this episode. Oh, great. Unusual readings. Citadel, you uncovered an alliance patrol. One of the patrols mentioned some strange activity. I see. But anyways, that's going to be it for this episode. So, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. See ya!